doing nothing. And CaStrO already has a lot of drones on this expansion. All his bases are pretty good. He's adding 3 more hatcheries, getting triple upgrades. That's very likely for CaStrO to do in every game. He just likes to have such huge macro. And really Mana is just... he's just not done anything in this game except making units after he expanded at first. Okay, this will be the time when he breaks out. There's an observer out. This contain was really light. There was only 1 lurker, so it wasn't really a huge deal. There's CaStrO's real army, what he's been macroing by now. The supplies are pretty equal, which means that process is a little bit of an advantage in that regard. He has +2 attacks, so that's pretty good for him. And CaStrO is a little bit off position. Oh, nice storm by Mana. Oh, CaStrO really... I have to feel he got a little bit lazy. He needed to have a bunch of lurkers here and not wanted to move them when Mana's army was already out. Mana obviously trying to take the 3rd base, but CaStrO is shutting that down. CaStrO flooding with a whole bunch of units. I don't know if Mana has enough to defend, to cope with the army. Looks like he does. He's been extremely cost effective. But CaStrO has so many hatcheries and upgrades are not kicking in quite yet, but okay, this is Mana's chance. He really needs to take down this expansion. CaStrO still doesn't have any defenses here, trying to get those lurkers, which was pretty necessary, but he was a little bit too late on it. And now CaStrO tried to flank him. Actually, it won't be too much of a flank because there's not a whole lot of units going from this direction. A little bit of a disorganization. CaStro's units are being sent piecemeal, but looks like Mana's army has been diminished too much and he's gonna lose it finally. But I have to say Mana did quite well. He is taking this expansion, obviously a little bit delayed because of CaStrO's harassment, but he is taking it, so I really want to see Forge. Okay, he's going to have +3 attack in a second. CaStrO is still at only 1 carapace. Clearing out the army, but this whole time Mana was macroing, so they should be pretty equal since CaStrO has no hive tech yet. Taking this expansion too, rebuilding this one immediately, getting a whole bunch of units. His 2-2 upgrades are complete. Getting more lurkers. This means that he probably won't try to be aggressive, which is normal. And CaStrO saying I can't play, which is another joke I don't get right now. Or maybe he's complaining about lag or something. But CaStrO is notorious for him being laggy, so Estoy borracho. I have no idea what this means. Anyway, Mana is moving out again. His main is getting mined out. Natural very close to being mined out, so he will only be running off this one base. So he needs to get an advantage right now because CaStrO is going to have 5 bases against -1, so this is his chance. He really need to kill those two expansions and or a whole bunch of CaStrO's army. This position will be very comfortable for Mana, even though his army is not too big. He's got plenty storms which will help him a lot. He's being extremely cost effective right now. Very good micro, but it looks like he did run out of storms, so he's not gonna be that cost effective. But he's moving up the ramp at the exact perfect timing. Now as soon as CaStrO sends these units, he's gonna clean this out. And he doesn't even need to send these units to clear it out. Mana reinforcing. Lacking an observer, these two lurkers dealt a whole bunch of damage very needlessly, and it looks like there's no High Templar with this force, so these links are gonna be very effective. Okay, Mana using this opportunity to try to expand over here. Already got a few cannons. Looks like CaStrO knows this is coming, so now to send in a bunch of links there, but those cannons are gonna be enough to defend it. Oh, he got his hive tech already. Already has defilers and consume out, so this expansion is probably gonna fall down as soon as the defiler gets there. Gonna rebuild this expansion again. This one hasn't been harassed. Okay, there's the defiler. And really, see, man, really needed some storms right here, but this expansion is just way too young for it to have High Templar. So CaStrO will be able to tear it down, most probably. Now, in a situation like this, having the +50 Templar energy upgrade would have been very nice for Mana, because right about now would this HT be able to cast Storm. Oh, and actually, excuse me, it looked like CaStrO had a whole bunch of Zerglings, but Mana only lost a single Zealot to this attack. Of course, he did reinforce it with his main army, so. But I have to say, I'm surprised that this expansion survived. I really was expecting it to fall down. Okay, CaStrO rebuilding this. Getting a whole bunch of units. A lot of defilers, which can never be bad. Just look at how many units he's got. He's at 150 and most of this is Zerglings. Well, I don't know if... Well, actually, yes. This might be the case. But Mana is playing very strong. I really didn't expect him to get this expansion so easily. It's still not very safe, because CaStrO can drop it with a swarm and possibly take it down, but we'll see how this goes. CaStrO actually has a supply advantage right now, which is pretty weird, but his macro is just so good. Stockpiling a bunch of resources in order to do that Ultralisk switch. I'm not sure if he's already got speed yet. And that's a little bit sloppy by CaStrO. He really had to at least have an Nidus right here, if he had no defenses there. This expansion is probably gonna go down, even though he's reinforcing it with defilers. Casting a plague, knowing that the swarm wouldn't be effective no matter how much Zerglings he sent. And this game is pretty weird, because theoretically, in this position, pros should be at an advantage, but CaStrO has so many units that I'm not sure. I mean, just look at these two armies.